Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donnelly Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donnelly Auctions Hour.
Welcome to the Donnelly Auctions Hour. Thank you for joining us. We are here every Saturday at 1 o'clock here on AM 560. I'm Susan, and I'm here with Randy Donnelly, who's off in Florida again. We're the owners of Donnelly Auctions in Union, Illinois. We're just 60 miles west of Chicago, and we are here today to talk about what's happening at Donnelly Auctions in Union and to figure out the value of items you might have in your home that you want to get rid of and possibly sell at auction. Hi, Randy. Welcome to the show from Florida. How's everything out there?
Thank you, Susan. Oh, it's busy. You know, we're moving out a big collection into U-Haul trucks right now, and we'll be driving it back to Union.
So you're packing up a huge collection. This is the second trip you've made to this specific location, but I think we want to let our listeners know why you are out there.
Well, you know, Susan, we're picking up a big collection, obviously, and moving it, you know, for auction and so on. And we do go out. We will go out all over the United States to pick up collections, so long as they are, you know, big enough and high quality and so on. You know, so we'll do all the packing and shipping and everything. But I'm glad you brought that up, because so many people hear us say that, and then they email us with a big piece of furniture here in Chicago or Lincolnwood or anything.
Yeah.
And
well, we thought you guys come out and picked it up. I'm like, not one item, and it's got to be a good item, right?
Well, yeah, and we will pick up one item as long as the value is there.
Exactly.
I mean, traditionally we charged for pickups, which is, you know, a very fair rate for two men and a truck to come out. You know, it's not always free, but sometimes, again, if it's big, expensive collections, we certainly will include it as part of our commission.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Big or small, Donnelly Auctions does it all. You can call us, because we'd love to take your phone calls at 815-923-7000 if you're a phone person, or you can email us at consign@donnellyauctions.com. We'd love to see photos and some information about what you have so we can determine next steps for you.
You know, Susan, one thing I like to point out is I'm here doing a music collection right now, but it's so funny how everything crosses over. There's so many things in this collection that have nothing to do with music. I mean, I just moved a big coin-operated Mutascope viewing machine, which has nothing to do with music again. There's antique advertising here, a 1910 license plate, antique fans and everything. So, you know, it's so funny when people call us with a collection, there's so much crossover. This gentleman just walked out and handed me a P38 pistol for our upcoming auction in December with firearms and war souvenirs. So, you know, just because somebody has, like I say, here we're doing a music collection, there's such a variety of things that we sell that, you know, again, we can do it all for them.
That's right. And just a quick little review of what's been happening this week. We held that big barn sale last weekend in the rain. How did that go?
Wasn't it funny? Oh, it's funny. So many people showed up in the rain.
They sure did.
Several hundred showed up in the rain for the sale. And, you know, sometimes that works out for buyers where, you know, if it's raining or miserable, sometimes nobody shows up and you can really get some good bargains. And then sometimes 200 people show up like they did this week, and things went for what they should have. There were still bargains, but it was amazing, a sea of umbrellas standing in the rain for this auction.
For those of you who do not know what we're talking about, we held a huge barn sale in Marengo, the second of probably 4 or 5 huge barn sales we're going to be doing. So this was the second one last weekend. Rain or shine, everybody came out. And then we're going to do another one in the spring.
We are, but, that's a great time to pause right now, Susan, and talk about the sale we're having right at Donley Auctions. Is that next week?
That's right. It's Saturday, October 28th. Mark your calendars, rain or shine, but this is going to be inside and outside.
It's primarily outside.
Primarily outside.
I'm moving everything outdoors, because we don't have the space. The building that it's in is too tight. We're going to put it all out in our parking lot, and this is going to be live only. There's no online. Folks, you have to come in person to this auction. And there's, again, we're doing, I'm calling it a clearance sale. We have so much stuff that we have to get out of this building. That we're going to be
a lot of stuff that
no reserve and live only, no internet.
Some great items too, things that were abandoned. People didn't want to have it shipped. People that just left their stuff here that we haven't, things that have been in multiple auctions. So there's just a wide variety of things. It is not a garage sale. It is an antique auction sale in the parking lot of the old Wild West town in Union, Illinois.
That happens a lot too, Susan, where people do abandon items, even though they have paid $200-300 for something. They then find out, oh my gosh, it just cost another $300 to ship it, and they don't want to pay more. Items don't get shipped for free. So when they find out sometimes the price of shipping, they just end up saying, you know what, just leave it. I'm not coming for it.
That's right. And this auction will be posted. It will not be posted online. So that means less competition and great deals to be had. So Come dressed for the weather and bring your vehicles because you got to take it home with you. There'll be a lot of treasures there. Saturday, October 28th in Union, Illinois. All right, Randy, I think we got everybody on that one. So the other thing that happened this week, and I just want to give a shout out real quick to my very good friend and one of our clients, Ron Onesti, manager extraordinaire of the Club Speakeasy and the Arcata Theater in St. Charles. Folks, if you have not been there yet, please buy tickets to any of the concerts or the shows that they hold. But better yet, if you need a place for a party or an event, a baby shower, birthday party, any kind of celebration, go there, especially upstairs at the Club Speakeasy. So Randy threw me a surprise party a couple weeks ago, and people are still talking about it, Randy. We had such a great time.
Susan, I agree with you. It's the best place to have a party, and that's why I chose Ron Onesti's Club Arcata. Because there's, again, it's such a nice facility. And for us in our kind of antique world, the theme is just perfect.
Well, a lot of the items up there, Ron has bought from us at auction. So it's fun to visit those items that we see again at the beautiful Arcata Theater in St. Charles. Give them a call, book your parties now, go to the concerts. It's a great venue. But plus, I want to plug Johnny Lyons and the Pride. They were the entertainment that night. It was Rockabilly night. What a fantastic show. If you haven't seen Johnny Lyons yet, please do so. Also, Ron, thank you again for a great night. Randy, thank you for a great surprise party for me. Wait till next year, everybody.
Actually, Al Capone's bar is on display right there.
That's right. It's
Al Capone's bar we sold Ron Onesti several years ago came out of Cicero, Illinois.
That's right. It's in the Rock and Ravioli room on the main level of the Arcata Theater. So go visit that and tell Ron we sent you. All right. So a lot of things happening here at Donley Auctions while you're gone, Randy. Believe it or not, we are getting ready for the November auction coming up November 16th through the 19th. It is 4 days, folks. It's the annual Fall Classic. And we hold 2 big auctions like that every year, April and November, because we want to partner with the Chicagoland Coin Op Show, which is happening at the same time in, where is it, Gurnee or Grayslake?
No, it's at the Lake County Fairgrounds.
Lake County Fairgrounds. So
in Grays Lake.
In Grays Lake, thank you. So we partner with them, and we have a big auction that night. So we're going to talk more about that in our next segment with Mike and Randy both. We have a lot of things to fill you in on what's been coming in the door.
The pinball, or we are set up at the Pinball Expo. Is it not that this weekend?
The Pinball Expo is happening right now. It started on Thursday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think it closes tomorrow, but I'm going to talk more about that in the next segment, too, because we're running out of time. But don't go anywhere, Randy. I want to talk to you more about some of these cars that came in for auction in November. We'll have Mike on. We want to talk about the JFK collection, folks. If you have any interest in that whole JFK and Martin Luther King era, we got information for you. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to AM 560, The Answer. Thanks for listening to the Donnelly Auctions Hour. We'll be right back.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donnelly Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donnelly Auctions Hour. I'm Susan. I'm co-owner of Donnelly Auctions. We're an auction house in Union, Illinois, and I've got Randy Donnelly and his brother Mike Donnelly on the line for this segment right now. We're going to be talking about pinballs. How about that, guys? Hi.
How's it going?
Hey, Susan.
Hey, the Pinball Expo is going on right now. What a fantastic event. It is at the Schaumburg. What's the name of the place, Mike, that we're at?
The Schaumburg Expo is at the Renaissance Hotel.
The Renaissance Hotel, thank you. And we have a booth set up there, so if you're out and about and want to attend the Pinball Expo, there is so much going on there today. It started at 10 a.m., and it runs until 2 a.m. So you're set up there, Mike, with a booth, and we are encouraging people to come say hi to us and tell us about their games or arcade equipment, pinball machines they may have that they might want to put up for auction. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, I had to step out of there. It's so noisy and they're so loud in there that there's hundreds and hundreds of machines that you can play there, too. So the noise was deafening. I wouldn't have been able to hear you if I hadn't stepped out of there. So.
That's right. How much does it cost to get in?
It is, I believe, $45. Now, it sounds like a lot, but think you get to play all these games. Most places you just go to look at them. You actually get to play the games, and there's all kinds of seminars and stuff. So the $45 admission is well worth it.
There's seminars, there's movies. They even have an autograph session with an author, an artist and designer. They've got a movie that they're doing, and the tournaments. They have big virtual pinball tournaments happening all day today. So definitely get out to Schaumburg if you're looking for something to do. So, Mike, let's talk a little bit about the pinball machines we have coming up in our November auction. We have some great machines, and I just want to let our listeners know how valuable they are today.
Sure. Well, pinball is iconic to America, but most people don't realize that the pinball industry started right here in Chicago. I mean, Bally started with their first one, they were line manufacturing, and their first game was called Ballyhoo, and that's where the Bally manufacturing comes from. Gottlieb started with Baffle Ball, and these were just small countertop games, horizontal games, that you released a ball and it hit a set of pins. There was no skill involved. It was all just, random. And they actually had a set of pins and then fell a little hole that you would score on. And these were really early gambling machines is what they were. You would score and then the bartender would pay you off depending on your high score. That evolved into bigger, more electronic machines that didn't have flippers yet. And they were banned because they were, again, gambling machines. So we see the pinballs evolve into the 1950s and 60s with flippers. And the flippers are what actually legalized them then. Now it was a game of skill. They kept advancing, and in the 1960s, late 60s, I think Bally was the first one to actually tie in with a movie and theme a pinball machine, which was Wizard, tied in with Tommy, the movie Tommy, and then it was off to the races. Then you see all the great advances in electronics and such, and the games we have today that are just so over the top. Like Addams Family and Terminator and some of those games. But you had the big three in here, which were Bally, Williams, and Gottlieb were the big pinball manufacturers.
That's right.
In Chicago. Employed thousands of people. And by the late 80s and early 90s, pinball was falling off, and they all went out of business. So there are a few other names, Data East and Stern, that are in business today, but all the big names are gone out of it. So we have some great vintage games here. In this, we do have a wizard game. One of the
that's a Bally,
the
Bally Wizard.
The Bally Wizard, and we also have an Evel Knievel. What else we got coming up?
Captain Fantastic, the Elton John pinball machine. We have a Bally Bow and Arrow, a Bally Old Chicago, and Star Trek Next Generation. I haven't seen that one.
We have Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek Next Generation. Oh, that's a beauty. It's a real sought-after game, too. And we also have a Phantom of the Opera, too.
If I could jump in and say, tell everybody when these games are going up. You haven't mentioned what our auction date is for any of these games.
Oh, yeah. Well, these are coming up in our annual Fall Classic in November. It's a 4-day auction. It's a big one, folks. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. These particular pinball machines and arcade games that we're speaking of are up for auction. Are you ready? Friday, November 17th. And it's an evening event. So we're working around the Chicagoland Coin-Op show. So anybody who goes to the show there can come to the auction in the evening and get your pinball machines then. So it is a live auction. You can come out, you can place absentee bids, or you can even give me a call. I'd be happy to do a phone bid for you on any of those pinball machines. But Mike, yesterday I saw Jim photographing 2 Sega Daytona USA racing games.
Yeah, those came out of a very well-to-do home over Long Grove, and they're beautiful. These were the first games that were actually able to link and race against each other. It's the Daytona 2 model.
Oh,
and these are very, very sought after, and they're in beautiful condition because they were in a home arcade. They were never on a location, so they're not beat to death. They're just beauties, yeah.
Yeah, so if you need to fill your man cave or your she shed, this is the auction to come to for any of those vintage arcade games, and there's newer stuff too. But what else do we have, Mike, in the arcade arena that folks might have that's of value today?
That we have here, what we're looking for. Any of the coin-op games. I mean, other things we have here are the mechanical slot machines, even the early electromechanical slot machines. We have quite a selection of those. I mean, Coke machines are always good. Soda machines, gumball machines.
What can you tell us about that bowling machine? I saw a bowling machine out there.
It's made by United, which is another big Chicago manufacturer. They made mainly arcade games in the 40s and 50s. It's a puck bowler, and it's 6-player. Been restored totally. In fact, Mike Hasnow, I think, did the restoration on this one for the family, and it's in beautiful condition, ready to go from about late 1940s. A real beauty. Okay,
again, that'll be up for auction on Friday evening. The best of the best, November 17th. So, again, perfect timing because, Christmas is I don't know how many days away, not that far away. Great time to start your Christmas shopping.
Yeah, if you want to outfit your man cave, I mean, we got the coolest stuff here on that Friday night.
I know, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Every time I walk around, I see something new in there. Randy, what are some of your favorite items coming up in our November auction?
I just want to point out, too, we keep pushing Friday night. But Thursday has a lot of great merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Well, that's what I've been working on this week. It is now online, but there's a couple hundred items. So if you go to our website at DonnellyAuctions.com, there'll be a big button that says Bid Now, and you can see all of the items on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. We're still working on Saturday. But that's only a portion of the stuff. I still have so many more great items to add. So keep in mind you have to come back and check back often. But, there's so much great stuff for Friday that we couldn't fit it all in. Otherwise, we'd be there till 2, 3 in the morning, right? So we're taking a lot of that great stuff and moving and putting it on Thursday. So,
that's right.
Randy, we're doing that during the day, right? It's going to be a daytime auction. I believe we're starting after 12 o'clock, noon and later.
We're probably not going to start it until noon. If we keep adding more items, it could end up a 10 a.m. auction. But right now we're planning a little later in the afternoon and probably go well into the evening with it.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, we got some great coin-op machines, light fixtures, furniture, and the list goes on and on. General store, soda fountain, barbershop, Tobacciana, Petroliana, all of those things on Thursday as well. So I think you guys just need to get a hotel room and come out to Union and stay the weekend. That's my opinion.
There you go.
Also on Friday, let's talk about the cars, because I love cars. I love muscle cars, and I want to get some more cars for this auction. It's not too late for a Friday night auction to bring some vehicles in, right?
Well, absolutely. We always sell cars well at any of our auctions. I mean, we have only probably 5 or 6 for this November auction coming up. So we've got plenty of room for more cars.
Yeah, but they range in years from a 1938 LaSalle all the way up to a 2003 Mercedes. So we take
and
all different kinds.
We've mentioned that 38 LaSalle before on the air. It's a total ground-up restoration. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it runs and sounds as beautiful as it looks.
That's right. So check our website, DonnellyAuctions.com, to check out all of these great items in our November Classic, November 16th through the 19th. But don't go anywhere, because remember I said we're going to talk about JFK in our next segment, because we have a huge collection coming up also in November. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Donnelly Auctions Hour right here on AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to the Donnelly Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donnelly Auctions Hour. I'm Susan, and I'm with Mike Donnelly today. Mike is here. We're going to talk a little bit about the historic JFK collection that we have coming up in our November annual Fall Classic, and that particular lot is going to be up for auction on Friday, November 17th. Hi, Mike.
How's it going?
Tell us a little bit about, there's so much information. I mean, we did a press release. I have pages and pages of data about this collection. Give us the highlights.
Well,
Where do you begin?
First of all, it is a huge, massive collection. I mean, it belonged to Monty Lutz. He started his career in the Army and went into CID, Civilian Intelligence Defense, over in Vietnam. So we have all his Vietnam items with him. And then he went to work for the Wisconsin Crime Lab as a forensic expert. And then he was tapped for the Senate investigation that reopened the JFK case in 1968 to correlate and prove or disprove the theory of the one-gun assassination
right.
by Oswald.
So let me tell tell you about some of the items in the collection in case you don't have that top of your head. There's 6 bound volumes of Monty's personal notes, photographs, VHS tapes of the House Select Committee proceedings, all of the supporting materials, and a bolt-action Carcano carbine with a scope that was used in the 1986 movie On Trial, Lee Harvey Oswald, which Monty actually played himself in the movie. Did you know that? So
yeah.
He's in the movie.
And that gun is an exact replica down to the sling and everything that Oswald had ordered out of the Klein Sporting Good catalog out of Chicago.
Right. Also included are 2 bound volumes of Monty's 1978 testimony of his findings of Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination in 1968, as well as the test bullets fired from the Remington Model 760 rifle that killed Dr. King. So those bound books will also be in the auction, Mike. What do you know about that?
That's correct, yes. I mean, this is such a historic archive here. I mean, we're going to have museums bidding on it and such, and let alone individuals who are interested in JFK. But, I mean, this has never, ever been on the market before. Monty passed away last year, and his daughter, who's getting up there, too, she's with no children, no family. She decided, she's hoping to find a good home for it to go to because she's lived it her whole life. So, I mean, this has never been offered before, and it's going to be the only time, because once it goes into a collection or a museum, that's it.
And it's one lot. It's one lot. We're
One
not
lot.
splitting it up. We're keeping it together. It is museum quality items for sure. And is it lot number 2200?
That's correct.
It's 2200 on Friday, November 17th at our live auction, which is also online.
And too, I just want to interject here.
Mm-hmm.
When we first announced that, I think a couple of weeks ago, so we were approached by somebody who had some original photographs of JFK's arrival at the airport that was taken by an Army photographer, his personal photographer, and then most of his film was confiscated by Secret Service after that, and they only gave him back a few photos. And these are some of the original black and white photos of he and Jacqueline arriving at the airport in Dallas.
Wow.
So pretty neat stuff. And then somebody contacted us just a couple days ago, again, hearing us on the radio and such, that they have one of Jack Ruby's suits. Jack Ruby, of course, is the one who killed Oswald. So they have one of his suits they're bringing. So,
wow.
I mean, it's crazy what's coming out of the woodwork here.
Well, our radio show, I think, is helping people hear us and say, hey, you know what, I've got something that might work. And then they call us, and what do you know? The Jack Ruby suit walks in the door. So keep an eye out for that as well in the November auction. But, Randy said it best, with the 60th anniversary of the Kennedy assassination upon us, that's this year. This is
that's right.
Truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own a collection of this magnitude. The collection has only been viewed by a handful of people and has never been for sale. And after Mr. Lutz's passing last year, his daughter approached us about handling the sale of her father's estate. Like you said, Mike, she wants to see it go to a collector or an institution that appreciates its importance. Wow, 60 years. How can that be?
Hard to believe, isn't it? Yeah.
I wasn't even born when he was assassinated. I think it was pretty close, though.
Everybody remembers that is alive. Everybody remembers where they were that day. So
that's right. So you can bid on this lot live by coming out to Union, Illinois, or you can put an absentee bid in by calling our office. Or, you know what, I would love to have a bunch of phone bids and some competitive bidding on that one. So I'll take your phone bids anytime. Mike, we got about a minute left. Anything else to add on JFK, Martin Luther King?
No. What else we got here?
Oh, here's one thing Vicki told us yesterday. Monty worked with the CIA that helped take down Castro in the 1970s. I did not know that. He also worked with Harley Davidson on the serial number restoration that helped bring down the Hells Angels in Milwaukee. Wow.
Well, when you read his biography, I mean,
he's
the
amazing.
Man was involved in just all these investigations and helped prove things, by forensic, bullet tests.
Did you ever get to meet him?
I did. He was doing ammunition for us.
I can't believe I didn't get to meet him before he passed away. Darn it.
Nice guy.
All right. Well, check out the auction on DonnellyAuctions.com. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk more about what's coming up and to see if you have any items of interest you might want to sell for in any of our future auctions. I'm Susan, and you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
And now, more of the Donnelly Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
We are back with the Donnelly Auctions Hour. Thanks for sticking with us during that break with Mike and Randy Donnelly. I'm Susan. I'm co-owner of Donnelly Auctions, and we're located in Union, Illinois, out by the Wild West town. So come out and visit us sometime. But for this segment, we're going to talk about one of my favorite auctions is our firearms and military auctions that we hold. We used to hold them once or twice a year. Now I think we're up to 4 to 5 times a year. And our next one is December 16th and 17th. And I have our military expert, David, on the line, who's going to tell us a little bit more about that. Hi, David. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Susan. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. So for this December auction, some of the highlights that are really quite notable is number one is that there's a lot of people that like things that go bang, like grenades and landmines and fuses, traps. And we are so fortunate to have one of the very best personal collections in the entire North American continent, maybe even the Western Hemisphere. It came out of Virginia, long passed away, and his family contacted Donnelly, and we have his entire collection. And it is quite. I've heard other collectors have whispered that it's the best collection in the entire country, and all different time periods, all different countries, and all different price points. But some extraordinarily rare items. And so if you're into that kind of thing, it's going to be an explosive auction.
No pun intended, right? I'm thinking there's going to be over 500 lots. Is that correct?
At least
500 lots. So let me just throw out the date on that one real quick. That's going to be on Sunday, December 17th.
Right, and we are just still cracking open boxes and getting to some of this great material, and I know it's mid-October, but December's not that far away in the auction world, and we're trying to get it up as quickly as possible with great write-ups and price points that people can bid on that for all types of collectors, advanced or beginner collectors.
I see you're head down working on this every single day. Thank you. But one of the things on the flyer I saw is a prototype U.S. anti-armor launcher. What can you tell us about that piece?
There's a company called the American Armaments Industries, and they created a grenade launcher. It looks like a bazooka, and back in the 70s, and they made a prototype for the government to test. And this is a one-of-a-kind, one-off item made by this company. And it appears that they didn't get the contract, but they have the launcher, and it is available. And it's in a custom case with custom rounds, and it's beautifully made. And I don't think there might be 2 or 3 in the entire world, because usually when you do prototypes for testing, you create just a couple.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting auction. Also, on top of all of that, the Ordnance Collection, we have American and German items. Tell us a little bit about some of those great items that came in, David.
Yeah, so it appears that we're going to have a number of World War II German badges, swords, a number of daggers. Some of them really good, high-quality reproduction, but many of them original. And, of course, in each lot, they'll be described as such. And one standout piece is that came from a kind of a collector situation out of state, was this extremely rare early German SS helmet. When Hitler first comes to power and he's creating an organization around him to protect him, the SS, these were the first helmets that were made, and this is one of those very rare early helmets, and it's going to be it's really one of the highlights of the auction for in the collecting world.
I'll be darned. Well, I can't wait to see all that. We're going to have this online probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, at least some of it anyway. We have over 400 firearms we're working on right now, in addition to ammunition and gun accessories. Again, it's the weekend of December 16th and 17th. This is a live and online auction. So mark your calendars, folks. David, thank you so much. Anything else you want to add about the military or ordnance collection? Anything any vehicles? Don't we have a tank? Do we have a tank yet?
No, we don't.
No tanks
don't worry.
yet. Okay.
I think you've had them a long time ago, but
tanks or cannons?
I'm sure Randy's going to find a tank in 2014. Which I'm sorry, 2024.
2024, yes. So if any municipalities out there looking to get rid of cannons, tanks, big heavy stuff, transportation vehicles, give us a call at 815-923-7000. Okay, David, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you jumping on the radio. I literally just called you a minute ago and said, can you join us? So thank you for that. If there's anything else you want to add, please do so.
No, I think we covered it pretty well, and I know that there's going to be some surprises that we can talk about in the upcoming weeks.
That's right. So you have to check back in with us next weekend. We'll talk more about that. Thank you, David. I will see you back at the office. One of the things David does, he spends his time describing these items perfectly, the condition, the measurements, the value of all of these items. And what I need here at Donley Auctions, we need more help. We need people who know collections, who know arcade equipment, who know antiques, art, you name it. Who needs a job, basically? We're always hiring. We're looking for people who have expertise in many different categories. We have so much stuff coming in, thanks to our listeners here on AM 560, that I need help and can work around your schedule. If you've got a couple days, a few hours here and there, and you know everything about certain items. For example, I do have a guy on staff who knows everything about coins. Oh, my gosh, wait till next week. We're going to tell you about the coins that we have. I need someone who knows antique toys, wind-up toys, tin toys, cast iron toys. all that kind of stuff. Call me if you need a job, 815-923-7000. I'm going to wrap up the next segment with some of our other upcoming auctions, so don't go anywhere, folks. If you need a job, call us. Go to DonnellyAuctions.com to see all of our upcoming auctions. And, I'm Susan, Donnelly Auctions Hour. Thanks for listening right here on AM 560, The Answer.
The Donnelly Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
I am back with the Donnelly Auctions Hour. We've been talking about items that you might have at home that could be of value that you might want to put in an upcoming auction. And we're just telling you about things we currently have in auction that have come from a lot of our listeners from our radio show. And one of those items, I would have to say, the biggest result of our radio show are the firearms that keep walking in the door. And I have Neil, our firearm expert, on the phone with us today to tell us a little bit about some of the firearms we have coming up in our December 16th auction. Hi, Neil. Thank you for joining the radio show.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. I know we have some, over 400 or 500 firearms right now for the December auction.
Yeah, they're building fast.
Building fast. Tell us a little bit about, every time you walk past my desk, you're like a little kid in a candy store. Susan, I got to show you this. You got to see this. I've never seen anything like it. Let me show you. Tell us a little bit about some of those items.
We've got some great guns. Right now we have a Mauser. When Germany was in Russia, they're running out of guns. They're running out of weapons. And so they're sending broken guns back into Germany to be rebuilt and just trying to get them back on the field, trying to have something to shoot. And we have one of those guns right now. And it's very, very unusual because most of them just don't exist. I don't see them anymore.
Okay.
It's a really neat gun. It's a kind of a bag of mixed parts, but it's supposed to be like that. That's how it came. So it's really kind of a neat piece of history.
Interesting. Tell us a little bit about the categories of firearms we have. Do we have, hunting guns, any ARs? Give us a little bit of a sampling of what's coming up.
Absolutely. I just got in a huge bunch of hunting rifles and shotguns. Those are always a bread and butter for us, a mainstay for us. We've got in German guns. We've got broom handles. We've got Lugers. We've got P-38s. We got a set of dueling pistols from the 1600s, and what's really cool about it, they still work. They're 400 years old, and They still work. They're incredible. But we have modern guns. We have anything from old revolvers to a Glock, anything in between. And we've got a collection.
Yeah, I saw that Colt second generation SAA that's in a case.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
Absolutely. It really is, and that one I believe is unfired. So
oh wow,
it's just a collector gun. So it's some really, really neat stuff. We've got in a Winchester 1887 10 gauge, which is from late 1800s, early 1900s. I haven't looked at the date yet. I just got it last night. But it comes with a letter of like you always get the Colt letters with the single actions. This is one from Winchester. It's actually through Buffalo Bill place out in, I think it's Montana.
Okay, good. Thank you, Neil, for that information.
Yeah,
I just want to let everyone know, too, that when you do have firearms and you'd like us to consign them, you get to meet and talk with Neil direct, and he will tell you everything good and bad that you may want to know about your firearms. Right, Neil? And he makes sure...
Whether you want to hear it or not.
Whether you want to hear it or not. And he makes sure that we toe the line with the ATF and all of your paperwork and everything is completed properly and to the T. Thank you very much, Neil, for joining the show. Again, mark your calendars for this fabulous firearms, military, and ordnance collection auction, Saturday and Sunday, December 16th and 17th. So, folks, you got to come out to Union. If you haven't been out to Donnelly Auctions, please come out to see us. You can bid live, you can bid with absentee bids, and you can bid on the phone. But we now have our very own bidding website at DonnellyAuctions.com. Thanks for joining us. We're here every Saturday. For now, I'm Susan, and Randy's in Florida, and we'll see you at the auction. Thanks for listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Thanks for listening to the Donnelly Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonnellyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonnellyAuctions.com.